Hello everyone, I am Dr. Eric Morrison. This is 7 Under 3, and I'll be covering trading education using the TC2000 and TradingView platforms.
Hello, this is the FOREX Week in Review with the 28 majors and minors and 6 exotics, and I want to start off with an additional to the table here in terms of open interest. One thing that I've noticed here in terms of overall commitment of traders is that there are some really good metrics that are out there, and one of them is open interest. And as I can see in the quote currency and the base currency, helps us increase our probabilities of overall fade to the direction that we place our fades on. So for Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, continued to move to the downside just by watching what the commercial large speculators and small speculators are doing. Next is Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, and as you can see here, though we had a COT index, it was on the quote currency, the base currency had a lesser open interest and price moved up. Same with Aussie dollar, Japanese yen, looking at open interest and the COT index and the crossbear. Same with Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, nice overall movement and great delta stack too as well. Same with Aussie dollar, US dollar, less open interest closed than the USD, price moved up. Especially with Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, absolutely phenomenal move to the upside. But if you look closely, open interest on the CAD was significantly higher than the Swiss franc and a move to the upside. Same with CAD, Japanese yen, great move to the upside. Look at that delta stack on the crossbear, 76% in terms of an overall move, and both large and small speculators too as well. Move to the downside, and as you can see, Japanese yen had less open interest out of the Japanese yen than the Swiss franc. Swiss franc, South African rand, look at that open interest, 20% open interest of folks buying into the South African rand. And looking at commercials, large speculators and small speculators closing their positions on the Swiss franc, and price moved down. Same with Aussie dollar, the euro dollar. Same with euro CAD, price moved to the downside. Euro, those folks sold the euro, then the Swiss franc, and price moved up. Now, one of the things that was remarkable here was a 40% sell-off in there. Now, one of these things is that you have to scrutinize these overall percentages in terms of open interest. This may have been incredible, but what it shows here is price moved lower. That meant that the British pound was stronger than the euro. When you see the open interest overall in the mixed pair, minus 16% sold in the cross pair, and price moved down. Same with euro Japanese yen. Euro New Zealand was flat. Euro US to the downside. Here's where it's more significant. When you have open interest in the positive realm of accumulation 20% compared to minus 9% in the euro, you have a significant move to the downside. And the euro South African rand is crowded. British pound, Aussie dollar, same thing. No significant move with that 40% drop. CAD was positive on the positive 16%, and it did move British pound, Canadian dollar to the downside. No significant edge on the British pound, Swiss franc. Same with British pound, Japanese yen, and British pound, New Zealand. Now this was significant in terms of British pound, South African rand, and price moved down. New Zealand, Canadian, New Zealand, Swiss franc moved up. New Zealand, Japanese yen doesn't work all the time. When you have positive green here in open interest and a negative, we do see that price generally tends to go in that particular direction, even though it is crowded short here on the crossbear. As far as open interest is, that is what actually happened in terms of proof support. So it's important to understand this nuance within open interest and the commitment of traders. Interesting thing about the US dollar, Mexican peso, a lot less folks got out of the Mexican peso. It is very crowded at this point, but continues to drop, which means that it's significantly stronger than the US dollar, forcing price to the downside. Interesting dynamic here with US dollar and Mexican peso. And we got negative and positive, and price moved down. We got positive and negative, and price moved up. Positive and negative, and price moved up, even with a mix. But look at this delta stack here, 75% overall shift from the COT index, and large and small speculators to the downside overall. Incredible numbers here on the delta stacks. I did have my overall plan here as far as the COD indices, and I did have a give back of 3K on all COD indice trades, both long and short. So it was a total reversal on Monday. For the Delta Stack trades, though they were positive, so we need to make sure that we take a look at those Delta Stacks in relationship to their overall currency and overall direction with the COD indice. So looking at next week, we have the CAD, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, potential long, Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, potential short, Aussie dollar, Japanese yen, potential long, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar has a COD indice long, but more folks are buying into the New Zealand dollar. Same with the US dollar. Folks are buying into the US dollar. Could be a potential short. Clear potential short for Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. Very strong move in open interest. And also the COD indices maxed out on the Swiss franc. So all your Swiss franc pairs on the quote currencies are potential shorts. But CAD, Swiss franc seems to be a very strong move to the short side. Another short, CAD, Japanese yen. Swiss franc, Japanese yen looks to be a nice long. Swiss franc, South African rand looks to be a nice long. No significant edge to Euro Aussie dollar, no trade. Euro Canadian looks to be a great short. Euro Swiss franc looks to be a good short. No significant edge on Euro British pound. No significant edge on Euro Japanese yen. COD indices in potential buying position. To wait for a particular setup on that, but it is crowded long on the cross pair. New Zealand getting stronger. No significant edge on Euro New Zealand. Euro US dollar looks to be a pretty good short here. Though the COD indice is poised for a buy, we could have potential liquidity zone here at the RL270. Euro South African rand, COD indice looks to a buy positioning. No significant edge on British pound Aussie dollar. Potential long with the COD indice it's selling positioning here for next week for British pound Canadian dollar. British pound Swiss franc looks to be a nice short for next week. No significant edge on British pound Japanese yen. No significant edge for British pound New Zealand. British pound US dollar looks to be a good short. No significant edge on British pound South African rand. New Zealand Canadian dollar looks to be a good long for next week. New Zealand Swiss franc looks to be a good short. No significant edge on New Zealand Japanese yen. New Zealand US dollar looks to be a good short. US dollar Canadian dollar looks to be a good long. US dollar Swiss franc looks to be interesting long here. We have a max COD index on the cross pair, 15% open interest, where the US dollar is stronger than the Swiss franc on open interest, but COD indice here is also strong. So this is an incredibly complex trade here. US dollar Japanese yen looks to be a good long. US dollar Mexican peso, we have a COD index to the short side maxed out. Interesting open interest, 25% compared to the 1%, and it is crowded short here on the overall US dollar Mexican peso. But the COD index is king, so for our Sunday Monday fades, we will be shorting the US dollar Mexican peso. US dollar South African rand looks to be a good long, and no significant advantage on South African rand Japanese yen. Well folks, that's all I have for the Forex Week in Review. If you're interested in these kind of strategies going forward, or programming in PineScript or Python and auto trading, and if you are looking for a great community to understand the commitment of traders tables, click on the links below. And remember, ruthless risk management. Have a great Easter weekend, everybody, and I'll see you on Sunday.
Well, if you like this video, hit the like rumble button below and the subscribe button. And if you want more information, click the course information links below. On the TradingView link and on TC2000, I have an affiliate link. If you open up a TC2000 account, you will receive a $25 discount using that link. Thank you for your time.